Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hope you guys are doing good and everything like that. Hope my mic is close to my face this time because I am tired. Um, so today was a day I gave out, actually today and yesterday. So I got so much stuff to do, so I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll just start from today. So I gave out the worst customer ever award today. The guy buys like a bunch of random stuff. His total's like $10. So and throughout the entire transaction, this guy doesn't say one word to me. Hi, how are you? You got a Kroger card? I mean, he had one. But, like, this guy did not say one word to me the entire time. I think I asked him something else, but of course he didn't say anything. So I told him his total. He just pulls this bag of coins out of his coat pocket and literally just drops it on the belt. Not like spills the coins everybody, just literally just drops it on the belt. So I have to count out $10 in coins, and there weren't that many quarters. It was the most retarded thing I've ever done in my life. Like, I wanted to just void the transaction and put all his stuff back on the shelves. And then this one wasn't so bad. Like, one was actually nice, but like her cart was just over. Her total was over $550. It was like $552 after all discounts and stuff had been applied. Her pre-discount total was like $580. It was like almost $600. She shoved so many things into that cart. Like the bottom of the cart was just overflowing with stuff. The top of the cart was stacked so high. It reminded me of Santa's sack of toys from the Polar Express. This was the most horrifying thing I'd ever seen in my life. I just see this absolute monstrosity of a cart lumbering towards me. I'm like, please don't come to my line. Oh my god. I mean, she was like nice and friendly. Like, she was like, wow, that was fast. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good compliment to be honest. But like, Jesus, like just the cart itself, like she wasn't actually a problem. She was actually pretty friendly and nice. But like the cart itself, like, oh my Christ. I don't think I would have even been able to conjure that up in my nightmares. Then you have the guy who got upset at me because he picked up the grapes that were not on sale. There's a big sign that says they're on sale. Yeah, I know. It says red grapes, 88 cents a pound. And then that's what the big sign says. Then when you go over to where all the grapes are, you look down and see a little red tag. Red grapes, 88 cents a pound. And then right next to it, you see a white tag because that's the color all the regular tags are that aren't on sale. Moon grapes, 2.98 a pound. Then on the other side of the red grapes, you see green grapes, 1.98 a pound, with a white tag. I mean, the red grapes are in a red bag, the moon grapes are in a purple bag, the green grapes are in a green bag. And the sign says red grapes, 88 cents a pound. Like, that's what the big sign says. Like, well, you need to take the sign down. The sign says red grapes, 88 cents a pound. The bag says moon grapes. Like, it doesn't say all grapes, 88 cents a pound. It doesn't say grapes, 88 cents a pound. It says red grapes, 88 cents a pound. Like, I'm so sorry you can't read, sir, but you're the only person. This sale's been going on since last Wednesday, and you're the first person I've encountered who's had any trouble figuring it out, so that sounds like a personal problem. I mean, I didn't get that, like, rude with the guy. I wanted to because he was really rude. I said, the sign says red grapes, 88 cents a pound. The bag says moon grapes. Like, I don't know what you want. I mean, I don't know. I think he was like, he wasn't. Hey, he was just frustrated. He's like, no, the sign back there says, and I looked, you can see the sign from the self-checkout, which is where I was at that point in the day. I'm like, no, it says red grapes. I'm looking at it right now. Like, I can see it from here. I don't know, maybe he just got so embarrassed that he got frustrated and angry. But I don't know, that guy was an idiot. Like, red grapes are in a red bag. Like, And the moon grapes are in a purple bag, and the bag says on the bag, red grapes. Like, and then the moon grapes in the purple bag say moon grapes. Like, it's not like they're an easy thing to mix up. And it's not, I mean, yeah, there's no dividers. They're all just sitting in this big refrigerated bin, but there's very clear divisions. There's no physical dividers, but all the green grapes are on one side, all the red grapes are on the next area. I don't want to say in the middle because on the other side of this case we have all the strawberries and blueberries and stuff like that. So, but I guess in where the grapes are, on one side you have the green grapes, and in the middle you have the red ones, and on next over you have the moon grapes, then you have the strawberries and the blueberries and the raspberries. I mean, it's not like he picked up the strawberries like, oh, these are supposed to be 88 cents. You know why he didn't pick up the strawberries? Because it doesn't say sale price strawberries, 88 cents. It says sale price red grapes. And of course, there's way more red grapes than anything else. You know why? Because they're on sale for super cheap. So tons of people are going to buy them. So there's lots of them, and there was plenty of them. It wasn't like they were completely out of red grapes. There was just about as much red grapes as there were any of the other two. Oh, and then the other day I was in customer service. I had the one woman, like, who was on just a tirade, an absolute monstrous tirade about how much she hated black people. And I'm just sitting there typing up her transaction, hoping and praying I'm not fucking it up because her handwriting is terrible. Oh my god. I don't ever want to see her again. Like, I was so embarrassed, and I mean, she's looking down, like, on her phone or something, and I just kept looking up. Is there, like, a customer behind or something? Is there someone walking by? Because she wasn't being, like, that quiet about it. I'm like, oh my god. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I was just like, I think the I think if I said anything, it would have been, oh, okay. Like, I don't, what am I supposed to say? Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, that was an experience. But I'm just glad the weekend's over because the weekend was digital coupon hell. Because what greater way to make a discount than put it on a digital coupon? So that way everyone has to download your app and create an account. And it doesn't work. And then the sale doesn't ring up. And I worked in customer service Saturday and Sunday. I dealt with digital coupon crap literally all day. I wanted to just, like, the spaces under the desks are just massive. I just wanted to move the trash can out from under there and just curl up under there and hide from it all. I hate digital coupons so much, especially when there's such a big thing like that. I'm so tired right now. Today was so tiring. We had 4 people not show up. 2 called in, 2 just straight up didn't show up. And it was on a Monday too, so I mean it's not that busy, but there's also not that many staff on Mondays. So when 4 people don't show up out of the what total 12 we're supposed to have, and all of their shifts are around the same time, it really cripples us. So that was a mess. That's why I'm so tired. I worked non-stop. Like I worked self-checkout from 2 to 5 until the self-checkout guy got there from 5 to 1. And then from 5 to 10, I was on a register scanning nonstop. I mean, I did get a break, but it wasn't much. I got gypped out of my break because I was trying to help this guy find Gatorade protein bars, which are not with the granola bars in the granola bars aisle. They're also not with like the rest of the protein stuff, like protein powder and protein shakes in the pharmacy. I mean, I guess in the end it makes logical sense, but it really doesn't. They're with the Gatorade in the drinks aisle. They're the only item on that whole aisle that isn't a liquid drink. They're literally protein bars made by the Gatorade company. That's what they are. They're not on any of the end cap displays with the rest of the random single selling protein bars. They're not in the snacks aisle with like the Fig Newtons and stuff like that, where like there's four places in the store where protein bars are and well stuff like that is. And they're not there. They're with the Gatorade. They're just stuck with the Gatorade. For what godforsaken reason, I can't imagine. I mean, I guess other than that, Gatorade requires that all its products be stocked together. That was so dumb. I got gypped out of at least 10 minutes of my break, wandering around the store trying to find these stupid things. And then in the end, I just called up the manager. I'm like, hey, where are they? He's like, oh, they're with the Gatorade. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And then the new supervisor was on duty. Like, I took my break after the supervisor left and the new one was there. And I didn't want to bother asking if I could just extend my break by 10 minutes because of bullshit. I don't know. They're training a bunch of new people to do stuff. They're putting a new kid in the booth, Brayden. Oh my god, I don't even like him. He's so lazy. He does everything so wrong. Like, I know he's lazy just because I've helped people like fix their receipts and interpret their receipts. Like that's something you do have to do at customer service pretty regularly is like fix people's stuff on their receipts. Most of the time you don't have to fix anything. Most of the time it's just interpreting it because some stuff shows up like right next to the item, but then some coupons don't show up until the very end of the order. Some discounts don't show up at the end until the end of the order. So sometimes it's really hard to help people figure stuff out, or like, oh, I don't think this is right. Like I thought, because instead of just saying how much each item was worth when they bought four milks, it just says four at, and then negative however much the difference of the original and the sale price, which were just like the math, yeah, is doable, but like probably not in your head unless you're really good at mental math, just because it's a lot of subtracting to do and then division, dividing it out to make sure. Well, you have to divide it, then you have to subtract it, which on a phone calculator takes all of 2 seconds. These people aren't even sure their discounts came up right because they're not even sure what they're looking at because the receipt is so freaking convoluted. But I've fixed receipts by them, and I see like in their cart, like they'll have like four cases of soda, and on their receipt I'll see four 7-Ups, and they don't got no four 7-Ups. They got a 7-Up, a Sprite, a Coke, and a Pepsi. Oh, but they're all the same price. They're actually not the same price. Fun fact: the Coke is cheaper. The Coke is also part of the Omega event. So is Pepsi. And if you screw that up, you screw people's mega events up, which is buy four items that are part of the event, which is like half the stuff in the store and then save $4. So it takes four off your total. They don't advertise it very well. I believe, honestly and genuinely, if they would advertise the mega event better, it would get better business. But the way they advertise it is they put the price minus $1 and then this price, and then in real tiny font says when you buy four. And then even if people do read the font, and then or they generally know something about the mega event, they think that they have to buy four of the same item. Like I've seen people not realize that. They'll buy like four of the same thing, and then three random other items in their order are on the event. And there's like, well, those are supposed to be all. Yeah, it'll come off at the end. They're part of the mega event. I start explaining that to them, and like, wait, I only have to get one. I'm like, I can just get the other three. I'm like, yeah. Well, I'll take those three off. Then I'll just get these four things that are part of it. I'm like, okay. It doesn't happen that often, but it happens enough. Just make me think. I really hate the way they advertise stuff in the store. Customers complain about it all the time, and it's not like they've got illegitimate complaints. They've got legitimate complaints about the way the store advertises its sales. Not the grapes. That guy was just stupid. But there's some stuff that's just legitimately poorly advertised. Like on the door in the dairy aisle where they have the whipped topping, it says $1. In big letters, it says whipped topping $1. It doesn't say anywhere on the sign that it's only the Kroger brand whipped topping is $1. But if you open the door and look inside, all the Kroger brand topping is $1, and then all the other random topping is 179. Whatever brand topping is 179. Well, the problem is the Kroger brand topping is right in your face at face level. Then at the bottom of the shelf is the other brand topping. Well, if you're standing right in front of the cabinet looking straight down, you can't actually see the price tags. So they just reach down, grab the one on the bottom just because. Take one look at it. Looks good. And they put it in their cart. That was a legitimate bad one. Then there was also some guy who was super pissed off because his 20% off wine didn't come up. This was a while back. Because there's this, I was like, I didn't think there was a 20% sale. I thought it was only 10%. No, there's a big old sign. I'm like, okay, so I walked back there with him. And oh my God, I shit you not, there is this huge ass sign that says 20% off wine. This week only. At the top of the sign. In the middle of the sign, there's this huge 20% off wine. At the top of the sign. This week only. At the very bottom of the sign. In not small print, but smaller print than the rest of the sign. Week of October 18th to 24th. And when this happened, this was like last week or 2 weeks ago. That was legitimately the worst signage I've ever seen in my life. I didn't know what in the hell to do. I would have refunded the guy because he already got 10% off his wine, so all I would have to do is take off another 10%. I didn't know what in the hell to do. I called the manager over and let him make the decision. He talked to the guy directly, and the guy was not happy to hear his answer. He said no refund, so he just returned all the wine, and I handled the return. And he was like, oh, okay, I guess I won't shop here anymore. Well, to the manager. He was actually friendly to me. He was like, you did your job well and handled that as well as you could have. I'm like, I'm in the same boat as you, dude. The way they do the signs here is terrible. So, I mean, that happened. That was a huge mess. Like, Jesus. And so back to this lazy kid. Like, he just doesn't do anything right. He works in the customer service booth. I mean, literally, so on Sunday, you have to do all the auditing and everything. And my manager wanted me there really early in the morning. I normally work real late at night because I'm one of the few people who's willing to work that late at night. I mean, I have unlimited availability. I will work any time, any day of the week. So I have unlimited availability. I actually have that set up on my schedule online. I have it set so I have unlimited availability. I work whenever. But I'm one of the few people who does work late. So that's what they normally call me in for. I usually work very late. I usually work until 1 a.m. That's usually what I work, the 1 a.m. shift, the 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. closing shift. But the other bookkeeper had requested off on Sunday, so the other remaining bookkeeper would have had to open on Sunday by herself, which would be freaking impossible. So he wanted me there early. He originally had me scheduled to come in at 5, which is the opening shift for the bookkeepers. The opening store shift is 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. The bookkeeper opening shift is 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. He originally had me coming in at 5. When the day actually rolled up, he actually had changed the schedule a few days before for me to come in at 7, which is still an hour before the customer service booth opens for customer service. But the bookkeepers are there doing stuff, and we're doing the audit. And this other guy who works in the booth, a $370 customer check, $374.71. I still remember the value of it. I don't even know how. Had been cashed and was nowhere to be found in the store. So that's obviously a massive disaster. Like, oh my God, what even? I mean, when I first worked in the booth, I was terrified of leaving behind, of not keeping a record of something I should have. So I made copies of literally everything I processed. I would always reprint a copy of the receipt, and just this. I had the biggest paper trail ever when I started working in the booth. But over time, I got a better handle. Like I was able to remember better, and people kept telling me, "Oh yeah, you don't really need to keep this. As long as you have this, it's basically the same thing." So now I still keep an excellent paper trail that I'm supposed to keep, but I don't keep an overly excessive paranoid paper trail. This guy keeps no paper trail at all. I came into the booth, and after he had been on it, they didn't even have me in the booth that day. They had me out doing registers and self checkout. Um, so first of all, the booth is a mess. I like keeping it very, very neat so I know what the hell ever where the hell everything is. Plus it looks very professional when I keep everything neat and perfectly organized. I mean, not that customers can really see behind the little wall thing that's there, what's all behind it, but I just think it looks much more professional than if the place was a mess. Also, keeping everything nice and neatly filed makes it sure I don't have papers strewn everywhere, papers falling into the wrong bins, and stuff like that. Ensures everything where it's supposed to go and where it's supposed to be. First of all, it's a mess. There's just random supplies everywhere, from pens. Oh no, what the hell? Okay, whatever, I don't care. I guess it's Riot Games servers being really good. Oh dear. Oh well. I guess there goes League. There goes my Leona background. Hey, I'm back online now, though. Let's just exit instead. Well, now I don't really have a backdrop for my video, which is kind of gay. But, so anyway, the booth is a huge mess. There's random supplies everywhere, from staplers to highlighters to random pieces of paper that I cannot discern the significance of. They're just seemingly random bits of schedules and stuff like that. But there's also random transactional, like, papers around, right? There's, like, some receipts and stuff like that, and they don't appear to be attached to anything. Like, I'm looking all over the booth, I'm trying to sort it all. Like, there's receipts missing, there's stuff that, like, we need to have that's missing, and there's this, like, I'm looking at, I'm like, what the hell? So, I don't know, I just put his name on, I just compiled everything up as best I could, and slapped his name on everything, stapled it up, filed it away. I don't know what else I was supposed to do, so I could get to work. But he is just lazy. I mean, like, let's say the guy had been trying to do the mega event with the one Coke, right? And he had timed it up with, like, let's say 7 other things he bought. It's going to completely screw up his order because he's not going to get one of the mega events because he's going to be one item short because this doofus kid scanned the freaking 7 Up 4 times. Like, they're not all the same. Like, the freaking excuse he gave me when I came after him about it the first time was they're all the same price. Well, no, they're actually not all the same price, you moron. The Cokes and Pepsis are cheaper than the other two, and the Cokes are also part of the mega event. And then I was fixing some other guy's receipt. I was just trying to do a return. I wasn't actually fixing a receipt. I was just trying to do a return. I noticed at the top, cashier name. Then on the receipt, and the guy is in his car. Like the guy, he picked up the wrong like shampoo. He's like, oh, or he picked up conditioner instead of shampoo. He's just like trying to return it so we could get the thing he needed. Oh, look at that in his cart, another thing of freaking like sodas. Oh, and they're all the same. Complained to one of the supervisors about it. I'm like, hey, he doesn't listen to me. He needs to do this right. He doesn't listen to me. I've already told him about this. The only problem was that particular supervisor is like really good friends with him. It's the fuckboy supervisor. So I don't think anything came out of that conversation. Biggest problem right now is because we lost one of the supervisors because she got fired over the phone because she was a lazy ass who never did anything. Um, So we're down a supervisor, and one of the supervisors, one of the goddamn like one of the probably the best supervisor, Donna, is trying like hell to go back to her old store. So we're due to lose another supervisor. So they're pretty desperate for supervisors because that pretty much puts us at one legitimate professional supervisor who actually has a clue in hell as to what he's doing. And that's the freaking customer service manager who is on the same level of authority as store managers and is second only to them. Even though he's a front end supervisor, he manages all other departments from an HR perspective. So he's like the supreme master of everything. And every time I've called him with a question, he knows exactly how to answer it. Like, this guy knows his stuff. Probably the only other person in the whole store who is even close to his level of knowledge is with a bookkeeper that I work with a lot and that I like is Selena. I like working with her because she actually does stuff right, not the other bookkeeper. He's careless, to say the least. I don't actually like working with him that much. Like, he's a cool guy. I just, like, Donna was telling me, you need to sign the Western Union receipts. I'm like, bullshit. I sign every single one of them. And she's looking through the door. This one's not signed. I look at the top. I'm like, operator ID. That's not my operator ID. Wonder who that is. 'Cause I actually look at enough of these reports and stuff that I've actually memorized people's operator IDs, not their passwords, so I can't log into their system under their name. Because that would be a very bad thing to do. And I don't want to do that. But I'm just saying, like, I have their operator IDs memorized at this point. Like, I'm pretty sure that's bookkeeper Will's. And the problem is there's two Wills. There's customer service manager Will, and then there's bookkeeper Will. It's very confusing which Will you're talking about to a layperson, but to someone who knows both Wills, it's pretty clear which Will someone is talking about. What else is going on that's exciting? Oh yeah, they might move me to full time. Oh gosh. Jesus. Oh, what? Okay. I think we're done with that. They might move me to full time, which doesn't really do a whole lot immediately for me because I already work 40 hours a week. Um, I get health insurance that I don't use because I'm still on my parents' insurance. Um, but I get 40 hours of paid vacation time a year that will gradually increase as time goes by. Raises are also time based. You'll get a raise every however many months you work here, depending on your position and stuff like that, and how much time you've been there. Like, if you've been there a certain amount of time, your raises will come faster, but full time gets raises faster than part time. I'm also guaranteed 40 hours a week. So that's to say, like, even though I've been working 40-hour weeks, like, let's say I could just randomly go back to working 16 hours a week like I did when I first started. But full time is guaranteed 40 hours a week, which I would never happen. I am locked in at 40 hours just because I am the universal skeleton key. I do literally everything in the front end, even the service booth now, which used to be a huge headache for them because the other booth people were really hard to call in because they had very limited hours. I mean, they've all quit by now, which is the whole reason they put me in the booth in the first place, but I do every job on the front end except supervising. I'm not a supervisor. I always defer judgment to supervisors and let them make decisions and stuff like that. Even though I don't trust them to make the right decision, it's their decision to make. So if they make the wrong decision, their name's on it. That's the thing. And plus, it's like, well, if I make the decision and it's like the wrong decision or whatever, Well, then my name's on it, and that's not like for something like that. I should have called supervisor for and not made the call on my own. That's obviously very bad. But sometimes I do it just to see what they'll do. Like some of the supervisors I don't like, and I know if I call them over, if like there's a pinch or whatever, I'm not gonna get backed up. I have like a mental list in my head of who I can call on to back me up when I need to put my foot down on company policy and not give people their bullshit because they're crying at me about it. Because some of the supervisors don't give a shit, and they've said they don't give a shit. And some of them just say, are like, well, there's nothing really in the policy that explicitly states this. I mean, it kind of does. I have the paper right here, but okay, dude. So, I don't know. I don't think they might make me a supervisor, which I really don't care for. I don't think I do a very good job of a supervisor. I think managing my own people would be too difficult. I don't know. Maybe I'd be a decent supervisor. Maybe I could talk some sense into these people. The only problem is the supervisors have no real leverage over them. Like, I don't know. We got some lazy, terrible cashiers. I just want to go up to them and be like, hey, I'd like to talk to you today about career opportunities. If you don't do your shit, you're going to be bagging groceries from now on. I'm taking you off a register. I don't think we have any cashiers that are that bad anymore. Some of them are bad, some of them are lazy, some of them are just slow and irresponsible. Some people in the store we definitely need to fire just because of how often they call in or just straight up don't show up at all. But yeah, not much is going on in the way of there. He talked to me about training for bookkeeping about a week or two ago. It's been a while since he first talked to me about it. But that was the most concrete conversation we've had about it. It was mentioned before, but that was the first serious conversation about it. He would move me to a different store to train. But yeah, I don't know, like what'll all come of it. I mean, I would actually like learning bookkeeping. Like it's going to be a mess. I know it's going to be a mess. It's going to be really hard. First few weeks I'm doing it just like doing the booth was, but after a while I'm just gonna get it. Like the only time I need help in the booth now is like when it's those really, really weird specific exceptions to all rules. Like I remember like one time the weirdest thing ever happened. I didn't even think this was possible to do. Some guy was returning a money order because he'd gotten the incorrect amount. Like it wasn't our fault or anything. He just thought he needed this amount. He actually needed more, so he was just gonna return it. Like, can we even do that? Well, yeah, the first thing you have to do is verify that it hasn't been cashed. And once you verify it's been cashed, you just return it, and then your drawer is going to have 350 short because the system will bill him a 350 caching fee, but we're returning the money order at full value, so your drawer is going to do bam minus 350 short, which, oh well. We have to return it at full value anyway. There's no real way to void off that fee because the computer automatically rings it up and we can't take it off. And then the other thing that happened was, and I actually know how to do this now because it happened again the second time, and I actually showed Donna how to do it because it never come up with her before. Can you send money to someone in prison? Yes, you can. There's a specific way you have to fill out the form. You have to file it under a business transfer because you're technically transferring it to another company, not an individual. The company is the FBP, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, or it's a state prison or a local prison. But the thing was, the reason Donna couldn't get it to work, she said, was because you don't need the name of the prison, you need the name of the company that owns the prison. Nine times out of ten, it's going to be the FBP, the Federal Bureau of Prisons. I can't remember if it's FBP or FBOP, but it's the Federal Bureau of Prisons. You need the company name. The prison name is not going to show up. The company name is, and that's the key. That was the part that she missed, or she was missing. I told her how to do that the second time it came up. And the other problem is when they put me on the same shift as all these other people they're putting in the booth. There's another one, old lady named Vern. Oh my god, she messes so much stuff up. Like I just get called over there so much. Like, I mean, Will probably feels the same way. When I first started working in the booth, I called him about a million times. But I don't know. It's just like I don't even think more training would help Miss Verna because Miss Verna is actually concerned with doing a good job. She just doesn't know what in the fuck she's supposed to do. But that other kid they put in the booth, Braden, oh my god, no amount of job experience is going to make him worth anything. Like, I'm not the best computer person around. Like, I do a lot with computers, but I don't really know that much about them. But one thing I'm actually very good at doing is troubleshooting, especially when it comes to stuff like printers, because our printer freaks out and freezes up all the time. I mean, today it was actually physically broken. We had to get a guy who had a part to fix it because something had actually broken inside of it. They needed a part. It took about 10 minutes to fix, but until the guy got here for the first, like, most half of the day, anything that we needed to print, can't do it. The printer's broken. So I'm glad I didn't actually have to deal with that. Selena was in the booth dealing with all that, so that was fortunate. But I fixed the printer a few times. I remember one time I fixed it and I called up the supervisor. I'm like, "Hey, I fixed the printer." He's like, "Oh, that's awesome. You might want to hold that thought. I think everything we've been trying to print all day is currently in the process of printing." "Oh, why?" "Because there's this massive stack of papers just sitting there and there doesn't seem to be an end to it." I was just trying to print her car tags. I fixed the printer. I can't remember how I did it. I think I just kept like opening it up and resetting it until it finally got unstuck. It was stuck on some, it was electronically, not physically, but it was stuck on some process. And it couldn't complete it, and it was just stuck in some kind of dumb loop. And then we had a computer nightmare one time. The computer, during the Western Union computer, in the middle of a freaking transaction just froze. And like, I absolutely, I mean, we eventually got it fixed. The problem was, so all we had to do was restart the computer. The problem was we had no idea if the transaction had been sent or not. We had to call up good old Will and tell him and have him tell us how to dig through that thing's. Well, he actually had to call Selena for some of it. Tell him to dig through that thing's records and find the transaction history. And that's how we had to verify the transaction had not been completed before the system had crashed. That was a mess. And then one thing I did learn very early on at customer service is you really do have to take people one at a time. And you feel bad about putting people on hold when all they needed to do was ask for an item was. But if you put the person on the phone on hold for the next guy in line, oh, maybe this guy will be quick. You're going to get the guy with the fucked up Western Union transaction, which takes like 40 minutes to fix. You have to be on the phone with Western Union. It's a huge pain. And it takes forever to fix. And it's usually because someone spelled something wrong, which is why we print out the pre-transaction disclosure. Hey, can you look over this for me and verify that everything has been spelled correctly? They glance down at it. Yeah, sure, looks good. And then they come back. Oh, you spelled the name wrong. This is an I, not an L. I gotta get on the phone with Western Union. Fix my transaction, please. Okay. And it's basically just talking numbers back and forth, and it takes forever. But I will say, Western Union has the most helpful customer support people I've ever been on the phone with. They know their shit. They're legitimately good customer support service. I have not had a shitty experience with Western Union customer support. No matter how massively painful or convoluted my problem is, like my computer crashing during sale, even if it takes them a long time to get the answer, they're very good at getting to where they need to be. They're getting from point A to point B. Like normally when you're on the phone with tech support, like, yes, 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 I tried all the fucking bullshit you're telling me. I mean, there was one time I was on the phone with the store Kroger support. I was like, the guy was telling me, can you troubleshoot the machine? No, 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 no. This machine was doing the same thing a week ago. We had to get the tech out here to fix it. Like, can you just put it on a ticket and get the tech back out here? Because it's doing the same thing again. And in the end, and because the same machine has been having so many problems, the tech actually came out with like a brand new system. He took the things like freaking. I mean, I get it's really hard to compare it to a computer because it's got so many different parts than a regular computer. But he basically took the thing's brain out and put a new brain in it, and ever since then it works just fine. It was a little slow sometimes. It runs a little slow sometimes, but it's much better than its old days of crashing constantly. It would always freeze up. It wouldn't give people their change. It was such a headache. But yeah, other than that, all in all, all's good. All's well that ends well, right? Like at the end of each day, I'm coming home, laughing about all the dumb idiots, cursing all the freaking assholes, and being thankful for all the people that are nice and friendly. Like so when we're understaffed and I have no bagger and I'm just scanning groceries and like stuffing them in bags and going back to scanning. I'm doing this as quickly as I humanly can because I need to like get this line down. You get the people that are like helping out with the bags, like, oh, I'm sorry about that. We're really understaffed right now. It's really busy. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Then you get the people that just stand there and stare at you while you're rushing to bag all their stuff, even after you've completed their transaction and the receipt is printed and the next person is standing there waiting for the thing to get cleared off so I can start their order, and they're just standing there staring at me like, what are you thinking? What is going through your head? Wow, sure wish this guy would go faster. Maybe I should move my useless lard ass and give him some assistance. I don't know. And I don't have direct, but one thing that I have kind of been noticing is I have uh, indirect authority, and I have a lot of it because I've worked there for so much longer than all these other people have. Because all these other people are mostly just people that are literally part time. They're doing this while they go to school and stuff like that. So I've worked there so much longer than a lot of them. Because a lot of them are in high school, I'm also older than them. And because I'm really good at my job, and they know that, and I'm also very, very, very friendly with people. There's a lot of internal conflict in my store between supervisors and employees, between other employees. I am above all of that conflict. I just somehow am on everyone's good side. There's a supervisor and a janitor slash bagger who absolutely despise each other. They both like me. What can I say? I don't know. Even though I don't have like any IRL friends or connections, I am either sitting on my computer doing pretty much nothing unless I'm playing a game, or I'm at work. I'm actually really good at like getting people to not hate me, which is nice because whenever it's Donna and the other guy's name is Philip, whenever Donna calls up Philip, Philip always grumbles and complains. Whenever I call up Philip, he like knows it's something he actually needs to do. Like Donna's gonna call him while he's cleaning the bathrooms to the front of the store. Oh yeah, go push carts. I don't call it utility unless it's like glass or like a massive spill, like actual shit utility has to clean up. Like I'm not gonna call utility to clean up no small spill or nothing. I'm not gonna call utility unless I need to call utility. He knows that, and I'm not gonna like make him do random stuff all the time because why not? I don't know. But I have indirect authority. Like people will ask me like if they can't find the supervisors, people will ask me like, "Oh, where should I go? What should I do?" And I usually give them like a real soft answer. I'm like, um, but then giving the real soft answer also puts a lot of the responsibility on them, which isn't to say like to shy me away from it. It's more so to like make them more independent. Like I don't want them to just be like, oh, always do like everything this. Like I really hate having to deal with that. Like when the store first opened, we had a store manager there who I hated because he micromanaged the shit out of everybody. I hated that. Like let me do my own thing. I know what I'm doing. I'm not stupid. So I usually am like, well, go take a look at the lot. If there's any corrals that have like tons of carts in them, just clear out the ones with a bunch of them. If there's not any with too many carts, just clear all the carts out of the parking spaces and out of the driving lanes and all the random. Just get all like we call them the stragglers. Just grab all the stragglers and come back inside and bag or something. And then I just send them. I usually try to judge, like, oh, what day is it? What time of day is it? How busy do I think it's going to get if people want to know if they're going to open on an express lane or a regular lane. But I don't know. Well, which usually I don't give the cashier that kind of choice. I'll be like, well, since it's Sunday and we already had this person call in, so it's going to be real busy. So let's go open up on a regular lane, even though it's early. But, I don't know. I don't want to like abuse the power or anything. Like I don't ever use this stuff that people ask me. Like I don't ever use it like, oh hey, go do this. Like if it only comes up whenever someone asks me what should I do now, I'm like, lots clear. We're kind of slow right now. Go run rejects. I don't know. Like I try to be fair to him too. Like Philip is like 40 something, ex army, ex security guard. Like he is one like tough guy. And Donna hates him. She has him pushing carts like 8 hours a day. I at least try to be fair to the baggers whenever they are like, here, I need to go do something, run the floor, and then they're gone for like an hour. I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to figure out how to be a supervisor. And I just rotate the baggers out. I keep a checklist of who's gone in which order, and I just keep sending the. That way I don't keep sending the same person out, because that sucks, you know? I don't know. It's interesting. It's weird. It's just a lot of. I think I'm really rambling hard at this point, but it's pretty much it. I'm sorry my leak crashed and I lost my background. Um, thanks for bearing with me through that and all my rambling. The latter half of this video I think was really uninteresting. The first half was pretty interesting, but I think as it went on, the fact I'm so tired made me kind of lose focus. Like we've been going for 47 minutes. I didn't even realize that. So I'm just gonna close it off here. Thanks y'all for watching. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for sticking with me. And see you on the next one. Have a great night.